Patchwork is a puzzle-like tile placing game for 2 players by Uwe Rosenberg, and the perfect example of not judging a book by its cover, or in this case, a board game by its theme. With a quilting theme, this game doesn't exactly inspire much excitement with its opening statement, but trust me, if you're looking for a pretty chill and potentially highly competitive game for 2 players, this game is a must for your games library. Here's how to play Patchwork. Choose which side of the time board you'd like to play with and place it in the middle of the table. There is no difference between the sides. Choosing a side is simply a matter of aesthetic preference. Each player chooses one colour to play, green or yellow, and places the appropriate coloured quilt board in front of them. Place the patch pieces in a single file circle around the table. Find the only 2x1 piece in the game and place the neutral pawn next to it so that the 2 piece is behind it when going in a clockwise direction. Choose a starting player and place the time tokens in such a way at the start of the time board so they're stacked, with the first player piece on top of the other. Buttons are your currency in this game. Give each player 5 buttons to start and place the rest of the buttons and the 7x7 bonus tile to the side. And just like that, you can start playing. The person whose time token is on top of the other goes first. They can now look at the 3 pieces lying in a clockwise direction from the neutral pawn and choose whether they'd like to buy one and place it on their quilt board, or they can effectively skip their turn and earn buttons. You might do this if you can't afford one of the patches, for example. If you decide to buy a patch, you must move the neutral token into the space of the patch you're buying. Pay the button price marked on the patch piece, move your time token the indicated number of spaces on the time board, and place your patch onto your quilt board. It's important to note that once you place your patch, you cannot move it for the rest of the game, so choose wisely. If you decide to skip for whatever reason, maybe you don't fancy any of the patches available, none of them fit, or maybe you don't have enough buttons, you must move your time token to 1 space in front of your opponent's time token and earn 1 button for each space you skip to do so. In this example, I would earn 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons, and that ends my turn. Turns between players don't just go back and forth in alternating turns, but the person whose time token is further behind keeps taking turns until their time token moves past their opponent's. If you land on the same space as your opponent, place your time token on top of theirs. It is still your turn until you've actually landed on 1 or more spaces past their token. Other than earning buttons by skipping turns, you can also earn buttons by passing by the button symbol on the time board. Each time you pass by one of these buttons, you count the number of buttons on the patches on your quilt board and earn that many buttons. The time board also supplies you with the much coveted single-space leather patches. These are earned by the first person to pass over the space where the patch lies, and is a great way to fill in unseemly holes in your quilt. Apart from being aesthetically superior, creating a quilt with no holes in it is good for 2 main reasons. Number 1, you are more likely to get the 7x7 bonus tile, and number 2, it means less minus points for you at the end of the game. Only the first person to complete a filled-in, hole-free 7x7 square earns the 7x7 bonus tile, which is worth 7 points. The aim of the game is quite simple. In this game, as in life, the person with the most buttons wins the game. Because, let's face it, buttons are great. The game ends when both players have run out of time, aka reached the middle of the time board. Now you must count up your buttons and don't forget the 7x7 bonus if you got that. Every unfilled square on your quilt board counts as -2, so subtract that from your buttons and that is your score. Patchwork really is a lovely chill game for 2 players of all ages. If you enjoyed this video, which I hope you did, there are plenty more from us for you to check out, some of which should be popping up on the screen shortly. You could also head over to Dicebreaker.com for brilliantly written articles, game reviews, news, and more. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day.